as you can see, we are going to be talking just basketball today. No report, no article, no top 10. We're just talking straight live NBA basketball, NBA basketball. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. We're just basically going to be reviewing the games we talked about before in my predictions video, which I did pretty good on. Not gonna lie, not gonna do my own horn or anything, but we're talking about those games, the Christmas Day games, and also games coming up in the schedule. Maybe the next couple of games, maybe a couple of days. We'll talk about those ones. Also, I am recording this video on Christmas night. Yes, your boy ASMballeR is working overtime, filming on Christmas night. So make sure you smash that like button for all the support you guys have given me this entire month, this entire year. We are almost at 5K subs. We're literally like 100 subs away. So if you're not a sub yet and you want to be, the next 100 to sub, that'd be pretty cool. I still can't believe that may happen. I don't want to jinx myself or anything like that, but you guys are just giving me so much, and I cannot thank you guys enough for that. So, special announcement when we do hit 5K. By the way, special announcement when we hit 5K. Yesterday, I also did a double upload day on Christmas. I did a NBA fantasy draft, and I did a 2K rebuild for the the Charlotte Hornets with LaMelo Ball and that group of guys down there in Charlotte. So, 2 videos. If you guys missed those ones didn't really get that much love, but hey, if you missed them, they were there. And also, hopefully you had a very Merry Christmas if you do celebrate Christmas. With that being said, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and let's jump right into tonight's video. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the ESPN app and have a live look at some of the NBA Eastern and Western Conference standings. I know, very early in, I think all teams have had one game. Some teams have had 2 games. As I'm recording this video, there's some games that are going on or have just ended, so obviously I'm not going to be able to talk about those games, but as right now, as of Christmas night, the Brooklyn Nets are in the number one seed, the driver's seat of the Eastern Conference at 2-0, beating a very good Boston Celtics team on Christmas Day, which was maybe one of the better games of the day for sure. And then they also beat the Golden State Warriors, the opening night game, 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago, the 23rd. And wow, you guys, can we just take a second to talk about the Brooklyn Nets? Because I don't mean to say anything prematurely, knocking on wood, not trying to jinx these guys, but they are looking chef kiss, almost like a perfect, well-run machine. They are looking very good. Their superstar players are playing like superstar players. Their role players are playing like role players. Their coaching, it doesn't look like they are really into a big matchup yet. I mean, they did just beat the Boston Celtics, but it's very early on in the NBA season, so once it starts getting down into crunch time, we're going to have to see how Steve Nash, another really good point guard, Steve Nash and his crew sort of prepare for matchups and different things like that. He has a very good coaching staff, so he definitely has a little bit of a lot of help actually. So I definitely want to see their coaching gets pushed a little bit to the edge on a close game. So I thought that was going to be last night against the Celtics. They started to blow them out a little bit in the 3rd and 4th quarter, so that game went a little bit left field than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a very close game to the very end, but Boston sort of struggled there a little bit for the Christmas Day game. Let's see who they play next. They play Charlotte, Memphis, and the Atlanta Hawks next. The next 3 games, so the Brooklyn Nets are looking to be maybe 5-0 at the start of the NBA season, so they're looking like a very strong 1-seeded team right now. Then right below them are the Orlando Magic, who had a very good upset against the Miami Heat on opening night, which I think it was the only game I was wrong during my predictions video that I made. Boston Celtics are 1-1 at the 7th seed. Again, Boston beating the Milwaukee Bucks on opening night, which, no, that was also the other game I was wrong about. I thought the Bucks were going to come out swinging, the first game, and they probably, well, I feel really bad for saying this, but they probably should have won that game against Boston. But hey man, to win basketball games, you gotta make your free throws. It's the number one thing in the NBA is make your free throws because they're free. So if you can't do that, you're struggling pretty hard. So very sad with Giannis, but we all know Giannis loves those moments, feeds off those moments. I know he's going to continuously try to get better during those times. So that was pretty rough, but they did come back and beat the Warriors the next, on Christmas Day again, which I knew was going to be a blowout. I mean, the Warriors are, they're looking pretty tough. I know a lot of people were like, before the season started, like, oh my god, you left the Warriors out of the postseason. The Warriors are a top 4 seed. Like, I mean, I said it before and I'll say it again. I haven't seen anything for them to prove me wrong. I know Draymond isn't playing, but is Draymond changing the fact that they're losing by 30 points? I know they're facing very good teams. They faced the Nets and the Bucks, so maybe once they start facing some easier talent, maybe they can start get a nice little motion going on for the next continuation of the season. So maybe they're just going up against too tough of opponents. They faced two teams that are just NBA championship contending teams. So maybe once they start going against some of the regular teams, we'll see how they do. But as of right now, I mean, I don't think Draymond Green's going to be really changing a 30-point deficit in losses. So looking kind of rough. Then right out of the 8th seed are the Miami Heat, which we talked about earlier, with Jimmy Butler going out for an injury, I think, during their Magic game, which a little scary. I think he'll be fine though. I think he just twisted an ankle or something to do with his leg, if I remember right. Pretty scary, but Duncan Robinson definitely carried their game that night for sure. He looked really, really, really good that night, but I think Jimmy Butler will definitely be fine for sure. It doesn't say a recap of what happened to him, but it looked like he had a little bit of injury, but I'm sure he'll be back very, very, very soon. I'm also very surprised that Toronto lost. That was pretty poopy on that one. I thought they were definitely going to win that game against the Pelicans the opening night, but the Pelicans are a team that are actually looking very, very, very well with Zion and Brandon Ingram as their 1-2 punch guys, and they're looking really good. And the first game out, I mean, can we talk about Lonzo Ball? Let me see here. He is the starting shooting guard for that team. I thought it was going to be the starting point guard, but they're not keeping Eric Bledsoe off the bench. They're actually starting Eric Bledsoe and having Lonzo Ball as the shooting guard. Lonzo scored 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists, had 2 blocks and a steal that game, and also shot 4 for 8 that game. He shot 50% his first NBA game this season. Beautiful. Thank you, Lonzo. Finally, he's starting to show, his college days of shooting, which is really good now. I think the second game they played, he didn't really shoot that well, but that's totally fine. Just as long as Lonzo is confident enough to take 8 threes, that's all I want. I just want to see more confidence on the offensive ends of Lonzo Ball as he is on defense, because on defense we all know Lonzo is a really good defender, but we need to see that confidence on offense. So the Eastern Conference is looking really good. Obviously it's the first 2 games in, so don't take anything really to heart just yet. But obviously with Brooklyn being 2-0 against the Warriors and the Boston Celtics, well, the Warriors, I guess, and the Boston Celtics, so it's definitely looking good over the Eastern Conference. And in the West, we have the LA Clippers. The Clippers are 2-0. They beat the Lakers and the Denver Nuggets, which are 2 guys I said they would win against. So that's really good. I knew they were going to beat the Lakers opening night because we all know that the Clippers love to just beat on the Lakers during the regular season. We'll see how that goes in the postseason. But and then with the Denver Nuggets, I knew the Clippers were going to beat them because probably the Clippers turned into a meme because of the Denver Nuggets and that 3-1 deficit they lost. So I knew the Clippers were going to come after Denver in sitting on top of the West. Then we have Utah, who absolutely destroyed Portland their first game opening night, which I knew the Jazz were going to beat Portland. Portland is going to have a very rough start the beginning of this year because A, they have a very tough schedule, and B, they have a bunch of new guys. They have to sort of integrate all these new pieces. They have to integrate going back to how they used to play with Yusuf Nurkic. Again, with a lot of new different pieces, a lot of new rotations. It's going to take a little bit of time before they start to really get the ball moving. So, Utah beat them by it was almost like 30 plus points. That was pretty interesting. And then a very surprising team. The LA Lakers are 1-1. Like I said before, losing to the Clippers, but also then beating the Dallas Mavericks, which, if you take a look at the Dallas Mavericks record right now, they're 0-2 because they do not have Kristaps Porzingis, and I thought they would have him at the start of this season, but I guess not. I guess he's still hurt from before. I know sometime before the season started, he got hurt again. So, man, if I am the Dallas Mavericks organization, and you have to constantly be worried about Kristaps Porzingis' health, I mean, this is Luka Doncic's year. This is his MVP year. We all know it. We all guessed it. So, throwing that away just to keep Kristaps Porzingis around, I don't know if it's worth it. So, in my opinion, this upcoming trade deadline, I am throwing Kristaps Porzingis' name out there and trying to reel in a better trade option for him. Could that be, heck, a Kristaps Porzingis for James Harden trade? Kristaps Porzingis is a really good young star that could throw in a first-round pick or so. Kristaps in a first and maybe some other sort of Mavericks player for James Harden. I don't know, maybe a trade deadline sort of option there, but, I just think they really need to look at options for Kristaps because, bro, Luka Doncic is going to be an all-time talented player, and if you waste that away with a player who is good and when at his best, a perfect complementary player to Luka Doncic, but can't stay healthy, you gotta sweep him out of there. You gotta get him out of there as quickly as possible because you cannot waste this sort of great play that Luka is having right now. And also, we all know Luka can definitely be an MVP this year. Rick Carlisle can be Coach of the Year this year. The Mavericks have a very good chance of maybe even coming out of the West this year. Who knows? But I think having an 0-2 start is pretty rough. So that's pretty sad. Actually, some teams have not played yet. The Houston Rockets and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now I know what you're thinking. ASMballeR. How are they the only two teams who have not played an NBA game yet? I will tell you. Actually, can I say it? I don't even know if I can say the words anymore, but due to illness and illnesses, the Houston Rockets have been ridden with a type of sickness that's been going around the entire world, and it's pretty bad on that team, and they didn't have enough players, so they actually had to postpone their game against the Oklahoma City Thunder to a different date, and I think their next game, is tonight against Portland, which I think they will have the bare minimum of players who can play, and I don't think John Wall is playing, I don't think Boogie Cousins is playing. I think James Harden is allowed to play, so that's going to be very interesting. Also, if you didn't know, James Harden's sort of trade destination desires, I guess you could say, have been added +2, because now not only are the Nets and the Sixers the two go-to places, also plus Miami was making very, very big moves on trying to get James Harden as quickly as possible. So you have those three. We have the Boston Celtics, who have been added to that list, which, I mean, if you're the Boston Celtics, do you trade like Kemba Walker and picks and some other assets for James Harden? Do you trade Jaylen Brown for James Harden? That'd be pretty interesting. In my opinion, I wouldn't do it because I love Jaylen Brown in his game, his defensive style, and everything like that, but definitely a possibility. Or team number 5 now are the Portland Trailblazers. It's never obviously been confirmed by James Harden himself, and I really do not believe that he would want to come to Portland, which is really weird. I don't know if it came out of his mouth like, hey, I want to go play for Portland. You know, I can never imagine James Harden or even any superstar player saying that, but hey, maybe he did say that, because I know, I think James Harden is on Team Adidas, Dame is on Team Adidas, and then also I think I read an article about Neil O'Shea, the GM of the Portland Trailblazers, having connections with James Harden way back in the day, so that could be two things there. So if you're a Blazer fan, which, I mean, I guess I am, would I trade, like CJ McCollum, Zach Collins, Nazir Little, and like some picks for James Harden? Absolutely. Yes. I don't know why James Harden gets slandered that he does. Bro, James Harden and Russell Westbrook was a pretty okay pairing. Not the best duo, compatibility-wise. Off the court, maybe yes, but on the court, it was just very weird. On the court now with James Harden and Damian Lillard, now that is just very nice. That can be like the James Harden, Chris Paul sort of style of basketball that they did, which obviously brought them to probably should have winning a championship going up against the Warriors that one year, but again, going over like 25 from 3 in a couple games, but having Dame and James Harden with Yusuf Nurkic and Rocco, Melo, and his Cantor, like Gary Trent Jr., they're still going to have a lot of good players in depth with still keeping Dame and James Harden. They're definitely going to be the best backcourt in the NBA, one of the best duos in the NBA. So if I'm Portland, and if I can finally get Damian a true shot at winning a championship like this, that would be his best case scenario he'll ever get ever in his entire career. I would go for it, even if it does like throw Portland into the like garbage fire for the next couple years, because God, Damian and James Harden will both combined for like over $100 million contracts plus themselves. So even if that's the case scenario, dude, you have Damian Lillard, who's arguably the GOAT trailblazer of all time. You gotta try to win him a chip, and this is his best case scenario. Sorry, I sort of rambled on about that, but that's sort of like the biggest sort of news that have been out recently. But yeah, the East and West are looking very close right now. I do believe Brooklyn, who's the number 1 seed right now in the East, is a contender for sure to come out, and obviously the Clippers, number 1 in the West, they are definitely one of the top contenders to coming out. Really quick note, I told you guys that I did not like the acquisition of Marc Gasol to the Lakers, and now you guys can see why. Them trading away JaVale McGee to make space for Marc Gasol is going to be one of the biggest downfalls the Lakers did this entire season. I said it before. I don't remember what video it was because I've been posting videos every day, sometimes twice a day, but I said it before. The athleticism and length and actually good basketball IQ, people forget JaVale McGee is a multiple-time champion playing on multiple great teams in the NBA. Just because he's sort of like a meme player of being, JaVale McGee, Shaq, and a fool. The dude is smart. The dude's a good player. The dude is very athletic, and trading that away for Marc Gasol, who's like 35 right now, turning 36, I think, by the end of this year. Like, I get it. He's obviously higher IQ basketball player than JaVale McGee, but dude's pushing like almost 10 years on JaVale McGee, you know what I mean? So, I said it before and I said it again, they should have just kept JaVale and not traded for Marc Gasol. I think they traded for Marc Gasol, signed Marc Gasol, something like that. So, but anywho, let's talk about the games that are going on tonight. The Saturday, December 26 games. The first game of that night are the Atlanta Hawks and the Memphis Grizzlies. Right now, the Grizzlies are 0-1. The Hawks are 1-0. I'm going to say Memphis wins this game. I think Memphis really wants to get a good start to the season, and they need one because last season, if you forgot, Memphis was one of those teams that had a very bad start and a very good finish in the NBA. So I think they're going to want to start, not bad and going up. They want to start leveling out to being that sort of great team, revving up to the playoffs, trying to be the new playoff team for the West. So, plus John Wall's a great player. John Morant. So I'm going to say the Grizzlies win against the Atlanta Hawks. We next have the Thunder and the Hornets. The Hornets will win this game just because they played an extra game. They're going to be a little bit more game ready. So I'm going to say the Hornets win against the Thunder. Plus the Thunder are going in tank mode because they only have Shea. And they only have Shea. That's the only really player they really have. They have Paisley, who's like another good young player. They have Lou Dort. That's all I can really think of. So the Thunder are really lacking, but they need to be doing that because they need good draft picks. The next game are the Cavs and the Pistons. I'm going to say the Cavs win. I think they're a very underrated team. They can be a team that could sneak into an 8 spot or even a play-in 9th, 10th seeded spot because that team has Sexton, Garland, Drummond, Love. Like, that team isn't bad. Plus their rookie, Okoro. Like, in all relevancy, their starting 5 isn't bad. Sure, Garland isn't really the best, but he's another year in, his NBA career. Plus Sexton, like, these guys are getting better and better every year. They still have Drummond, who is past All-Star. Kevin Love is a really good player, so watch out for the Cavaliers. I'm going to say they beat the Pistons and become 2-0. Next up, we have the Magic and the Wizards. I'm going to say the Wizards win this game. The Wizards almost beat one of the powerhouses in the NBA their past game. I think they're going to come out with a full-headed team against the Orlando Magic, even though the Magic did beat a powerhouse in the Miami Heat. Actually, maybe the Magic will win this game. I'm not sure. I might pick the Wizards again. I really liked how the Wizards played their last game. I'm going to say the Wizards win. Maybe an upset. Then we have the Sixers and Knicks. The Sixers will win. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about that, but RJ Barrett did look really good. The first game of this season for him, he looked really good against the Pacers. In the first half, the second half he kind of slid, but first half, RJ looked really good. Then we have the Pacers and the Bulls. The next game, I'm going to take the Pacers. Actually, I don't know. The Pacers did beat the Knicks pretty good, and the Bulls kind of struggled a little bit. I don't know, this is one of the toss-up games because I really like the Bulls. I really like their team, but I'm going to say the Pacers. Yeah. One thing, Wendell Carter Jr. on the Bulls needs to pick up the pace. Laurie and Zach look really good, even for their past game. I really do think Kobe White looked really good, but Wendell Carter looks like he is a rookie still, like he is struggling on the court. So let's hope that Wendell Carter can start, showing some more of his potential. Then we have the Raptors and the Spurs. I'm gonna say the Raptors win this game. The Spurs did win their first game of the year, and they looked really good. DeJounte and all their young guys, the young core guys, looked really good. But I'm gonna say the Raptors finally get their first win of the season. Then we have the Timberwolves and the Jazz. I'm gonna say the Jazz win. The Jazz looked really good defensively against Portland, so I could think that defense is gonna carry over too against the Timberwolves, shutting down D'Angelo Russell, Rudy Gobert, Karl-Anthony Towns matchup. Karl-Anthony Towns is gonna have a run for his money, and or see if Rudy Gobert can give it to him. So gonna be a good game. That might be one of the best games of the night, actually. So I'm gonna give it to the Jazz. We have the Rockets in Portland. I'm gonna say Portland wins. Fingers crossed, knocking on wood on that one, because it seems like they're only gonna have James Harden and a couple of ball boys playing for that team because of current world situation diseases. So Portland should win that game. Who knows? Knocking on wood again. And then the last game of the night is going to be Phoenix Suns and the Sacramento Kings. I'm gonna say the Mavericks versus the Clippers. Again, if KP isn't playing, this would be an amazing matchup to watch, but KP isn't playing, I'm assuming, so Luka's gonna get schmacked again, and they're gonna lose to the Clippers for sure. Let's see what else? Ooh, the Spurs and the Pelicans. I think this is also gonna be a very good game. Getting to see, DeMar, Brandon Ingram, obviously Zion, finally getting a rematch of his first NBA game last year as a rookie. I think this is also going to be a very good game, and obviously because, the Spurs and the Pelicans are also sort of those 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th seeded teams that are all going to get very scrunched up at the end of the year, so they're going to be very much battling to get those sort of one-ups against each other. We have the Celtics and the Pacers playing on Sunday as well at 5 p.m., which, I'm obviously going to say the Celtics are going to win that game just because I feel like the Celtics are a better team. They beat the Bucks, they really got blown out by the Nets, but I think they'll be fine. I think the Celtics should take that game against the Pacers. We have the Timberwolves and the Lakers, which also I think might be a little bit of an underrated game. I think the Timberwolves are actually going to be like a pretty decent team this year. They're definitely not going to be a bottom feeder team anymore. I think having D'Angelo, Russell, and Anthony Edwards on that team is going to help them significantly a lot. In the past they have only had Andrew Wiggins, and that's really the only other player that Karl Anthony Towns really had to a very great sort of status. So I think having D'Lo and Ant-Man is going to help them out a lot. And Anthony Edwards actually looked pretty good his first game out there. I'm actually very surprised. So hopefully he can keep that up, that sort of play up, that defensive prowess up, being a sort of good sort of combo guard, being able to play offense and defense pretty decently. So as long as he can keep that up throughout the year, that team is going to be looking like a pretty good 10th, 9th, maybe even a sneak in a playoff team at the end of the year. That's going to be really cool to see. Then there's also the Suns and the Kings that day, which might be a good game. I think the Suns. The Suns and the Kings play on Saturday, but they also play on Sunday again. They play at the Kings Arena again, so I think those are things that are going to be going on a lot during this year. Yeah, the Magic and the Wizards play Saturday and Sunday back to back, which that would actually kind of suck, in my opinion. Man, if you're a team that just gets stuck with imagine the Knicks or someone having to play the Bucks back to back. That's just double losses in a row. That can kill you in a playoff race. So hopefully that doesn't mess up a lot of teams during this year. But let's see what else can we talk about. Sort of news around the league. The only thing I really saw about injuries was the obviously one with Jimmy Butler. Yeah, it was an ankle injury. He left the game because of that. Also because of Kawhi, he left the game. But I feel like the Clippers were gonna win that game anyway. Really, they were doing pretty well against the Nuggets for sure. So, and I think also LeBron twisted his ankle or something like that. The first game of the year, but he played Christmas Day, which big ups to LeBron for giving us that show, because obviously watching LeBron on Christmas Day is some sort of a tradition nowadays. So I thought that was pretty cool. That's gonna be it for me, guys. I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit of basketball with you guys very quickly. Some of the league news going on with James Harden, and then doing a little bit of a prediction video again for you guys, because I know you guys sort of liked that, and definitely leave a comment down below of other predictions you guys have for their wins and losses. Also, let's talk about the James Harden thing. If you guys want to, comment down below what you think they traded to. How do you feel I'm wanting to go to Portland and Boston? Do you think these teams will work out? I want to know your opinion. I love hearing your opinion. So again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like the video, make sure you like the video and subscribe